Save the soft hearts of women. So long as I am your king, treason shall never go unpunished. Ser Illyn, bring me his head.
What if Jon Snow had stopped Ned Stark's execution? Let's explore the depths of this possibility. As we sin, so do we suffer. This man has confessed his crimes in the sight of gods and men, the High Septon declared. The crowd gathered before the September of Baelor stood silent, eyes fixed on the scene unfolding before them. The gods are just, he continued, but beloved Baelor taught us they can also be merciful. Joffrey Baratheon, seated on the Iron Throne for the first time, smirked as he addressed the crowd. What is to be done with this traitor, your grace? Someone asked. His mother, Queen Cersei, watched expectantly. Sansa Stark, standing among the courtiers, silently pleaded for her father's life. My mother wishes me to let Lord Eddard join the Night's Watch, Joffrey announced. Stripped of all titles and powers, he would serve the realm in permanent exile. And my lady Sansa has begged mercy for her father. He scoffed. But they have the soft hearts of women. So long as I am your king, treason shall never go unpunished. Joffrey's voice rose in command. Ser Illyn, bring me his head. Gasps rippled through the crowd as Ned Stark was forced to his knees. He cast a desperate look around, searching for Sansa. Then for Arya. But she was lost in a sea of movement. The scrape of steel rang in his ears as Ser Illyn Payne drew his sword. The sharp sound of metal against metal filled the square, drowning out everything else. But then, stop! A collective gasp echoed through the crowd as a cloaked figure surged forward. Black fabric billowed behind him as he shoved his way toward the steps of the September. Ned turned his head slightly and caught sight of the young man just as Ser Illyn's sword halted inches from his neck. Joffrey, startled, turned toward the intruder. Sansa's eyes widened in disbelief. Jon Snow stood at the foot of the stairs, glaring at the boy king. His heart pounded as he bit his lip, praying that neither Joffrey nor Cersei would recognize him. But as he stepped closer, their expressions remained blank, no hint of recognition. Jon was grateful for that. What is the meaning of this? Joffrey spat. This man is marked for death. Who are you to command the king to do anything? Answer before you join him. Jon's voice was firm. I am a man of the Night's Watch, and this man has been marked for our order. You admit it yourself. Or is the new king's word meaningless? Joffrey hesitated. My mother's words, not mine, he corrected defensively. And yet, Ned Stark confessed nonetheless, Jon pressed. That means he should go with me. Joffrey scowled. What does it matter if he goes with you? He's just another criminal in a den of rats. A murmur rippled through the onlookers. Though the Night's Watch had fallen on hard times, stories of their noble duty still lingered in the minds of many. Jon seized the moment. The Night's Watch are the defenders of the realm, he declared, his voice carrying over the murmuring crowd. For thousands of years, we have protected the Seven Kingdoms from wildlings and worse. And now you insult us? You would deny us a recruit, a man who has cooperated willingly and agreed to your terms, on this holy ground. The crowd shifted uneasily. Even the High Septon, who had moments before clung to Joffrey's cape, now stepped back, his expression troubled. The division in the crowd grew. Some shouted for mercy, accusing Joffrey of blasphemy. Others called Ned an oathbreaker and demanded his execution. The tension in the air was palpable. Joffrey's face paled as he saw the shift in public opinion. He turned to Cersei, who whispered furiously in his ear. Finally, Joffrey raised his hand, demanding silence. Very well, he announced, his voice tight with irritation. If this is what Lord Stark wishes, to freeze at the edge of the world, who am I to deny his wishes? He is free to go. A stunned silence filled the square before hushed whispers erupted like wildfire. Ned Stark was cut free. Jon Snow guided him down the steps, leading him toward an inn where Yoren of the Night's Watch awaited them. To their astonishment, another figure stood beside Yoren, a young girl, her face streaked with dirt, but unmistakable. Arya? Ned breathed. The girl launched herself into his arms. Father! Ned fell to his knees, embracing her tightly. She trembled against him, as if afraid he might disappear again. "My girl, you're safe," he whispered. "I tried to get to you. I tried, I swear." Arya sobbed. "But Yoren found me. He kept me safe." The grizzled recruiter of the Night's Watch grunted. "The girl's got fight in her, but she wouldn't have lasted long out there." Ned turned to Jon, eyes filled with unspoken gratitude. Yoren cleared his throat. "We need to move. Word will spread that Stark still lives." "We can drop Arya at River Run," Jon suggested. "And you too, Lord Stark." Ned shook his head. "No. My honor is the only thing that kept me alive today. I swore an oath, and I will keep it." "But father," Jon started. "The North would not benefit from an oathbreaker," Ned interrupted. "If I forsake my vows, I will only give the Lannisters more reason to call the Starks dishonorable. Robb must fight his war, and I must serve mine." He exhaled heavily. "Perhaps when the war ends, but until then I must do my duty." Jon nodded, understanding the weight of his father's words. "Then we ride tonight." The journey northward was quiet, tense. Though the Lannisters fumed at losing Ned Stark, they dared not openly attack the Night's Watch. News traveled fast. Robb Stark had bested the Lannisters at River Run, capturing Jaime Lannister. With only Sansa left as a bargaining chip, the Lannisters' grip on power was slipping. During their travels, Jon and Ned spoke at length. Ned recounted the treachery in King's Landing, the truth about Joffrey's parentage, and the deception that had placed the Lannisters on the throne. Jon, in turn, shared the grim happenings at the Wall, strange reports from beyond, Benjen's disappearance, and the growing unease among the Rangers. One night, as they camped near the Neck, Ned finally said what had weighed on his heart for years. "You're not my son. At least, not by blood," he admitted quietly. Jon's brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" Ned inhaled deeply. "Your mother was Lyanna Stark. My sister." Jon reeled. "That's not possible." "I lied to protect you," Ned continued. "If Robert had known the truth, he would have killed you. Your father was Rhaegar Targaryen." Jon's breath caught. "Rhaegar? But he kidnapped Lyanna." "No," Ned said firmly. "She died giving birth to you. And with her last breath, she made me promise to keep you safe. To raise you as my own." Jon was silent for a long time. "You are more Stark than you know," Ned said softly. "You have my sister's strength. My brother's honor. You have always been my son, Jon, in every way that matters." Jon did not answer, but his eyes glistened with emotion. As they rode toward their destinies, father and son understood one thing. Their world had changed forever. The White Walker's icy gaze is locked onto Ned, ignoring all other combatants, even the taunts of Ser Illyn. Ned swings his sword, but it shatters upon impact. The creature retaliates with a powerful strike, sending Ned crashing onto a table that splinters beneath him. As the White Walker raises its sword for a finishing blow, Samwell Tarly stabs it from behind with a dragonglass dagger. The reaction is immediate. An otherworldly scream pierces the air as the walker disintegrates into ice and dust. But the battle is far from won. The dead vastly outnumber the living, forcing Ned, Alliser, and the surviving brothers of the Night's Watch to flee into the darkened woods, leaving the fist of the first men behind. Even as they ride, Ned's mind races. The dragonglass had killed the walker instantly. Why? Before he can think further, the sound of horns echoes behind them, a chilling call like a predator closing in on its prey. "Samwell, do you still have the dragonglass?" Ned asks urgently. Sam, shaken but determined, replies, "I do, but not the one I used. It shattered." Ned nods. "Ride ahead to Castle Black. Ser Illyn, protect him at all costs. Sam must learn everything he can about dragonglass and why it's effective. Tell Jon and King Stannis. This knowledge may save us all." Ser Illyn hesitates, his expression a mix of anger and concern. "And where will you go, Lord Commander?" Ned doesn't hesitate. "Those horns are too close. Even if we ride our mounts to death, it will only buy you time. Whatever is behind us will find me an appealing distraction." Ser Illyn clenches his jaw but obeys, spurring his horse forward and ordering Sam to follow. As they disappear into the night, Ned wheels his horse around, gripping his spare sword tightly as shadowed figures emerge from the darkness. But these are not the dead. They laugh, exchange crude insults, and boast, wildlings. A group of free folk step forward, weapons drawn. A chariot pulled by massive wolves circles him, its rider peering down. Looks like a crow flew too far from the nest, the man sneers. Meanwhile, atop the wall, Jon Snow stands watch, his breath misting in the cold air. Reinforcements from Stannis and Robb Stark have strengthened their patrols, but even with their aid, the losses weigh heavily on him. Winterfell is in ruins, and his brothers are feared dead. When the horn finally sounds, signaling the return of the expedition, Jon rushes to meet them, only to see far fewer men than before. "We were ambushed. The dead came for us," one of the rangers reports grimly. Jon's heart tightens. "And my father?" The ranger's expression is pained. "We don't know. He stayed behind to cover our retreat. He sent Sam to tell you how to kill the walkers." Jon's hands clench into fists. "You left him." "We barely escaped with our lives," Ser Illyn growls. "He did his duty. We all did." Sam, still breathless from the ride, stammers, "Jon, there's hope. I killed one of them. With dragon glass." He hands Jon the remnants of his weapon. "There were caches of this at the Fist of the First Men. We didn't know what they were, but they worked." Jon studies the fragments, his mind racing. Some of Stannis' knights say Dragonstone has plenty of dragon glass. They can send more when Stannis arrives, a knight reports. Jon nods absently, but his mind is elsewhere. His father? Is he truly gone? He spends every free moment praying to the old gods, begging them not to take Ned Stark from him a second time. Days pass in a blur, until rangers report a group of people hiding in the ruined night fort. Jon leads a party to investigate, torches flickering against the ancient stone. What he finds stuns him: Bran Stark, standing alongside Jojen and Mira Reed, with Hodder looming behind them. "Bran, what are you doing here?" Jon demands. "We escaped Winterfell when the Ironborn attacked," Bran explains. "Rickon is safe, but I need to go beyond the wall. Something is calling me there, something that promises to answer all our questions." Jon's brow furrows. "Bran, there is nothing beyond the wall but death and snow. You'll find only ruin." "No," Bran insists. "There's something older, something that might know how to defeat the White Walkers. Our problems are connected." Jon exhales sharply. "We have an answer, Dragonglass. I won't send you to your death." Bran's expression remains firm. "How sure are you that father is dead?" Jon freezes. "I dreamed of a man in black, atop a great reindeer, riding toward a cave beyond the wall," Bran continues. Jon's breath catches. "A man in black. Could it be our father?" "There's only one way to find out," Bran replies. Jon closes his eyes, his mind torn between duty and hope. Finally he nods. "We'll escort you north. You'll have my best guides. Stannis will provide knights." As Bran's party ventures into the unknown, the Night's Watch prepares for war. Samwell Tarly returns to Winterfell, scouring its ruined archives for anything on Dragonglass. He learns it was once called Frozen Fire, and that the children of the forest used it for weapons. As he studies its properties, he realizes Dragonglass may be useful in battle beyond just weapons. His findings are sent to Jon and Stannis, who begin stockpiling more for the coming fight. Meanwhile, beyond the wall, Ned Stark stands before Mance Rayder, bound but unbroken. The Wildling King lays out his terms: free passage for his people or war. "You know you won't face only the Night's Watch," Ned warns. Stannis brings men from the south. Hundreds of them. "Thousands," Mance counters. "And miles of territory to slip through. Chivalry and armor won't save you from a blade in the dark." "You don't have to attack," Ned says. "I can let your people through." The wildlings murmur, some intrigued, others outraged. Rattleshirt sneers, "A petty offer. We should string you up at the wall as an example." Mance studies Ned carefully. "Words are wind. Why should we trust you?" You call yourself free. Prove it. Don't let your people die for nothing, Ned counters. Mance hesitates, then nods. But before they can act, the shrieks of the dead fill the air. The White Walkers have come. The wildlings fight fiercely, giants smashing through the ranks of the undead, but they lack the weapons to truly stop them. The battle rages for days, their numbers dwindling. Mance is dragged away into the night. Then, salvation arrives. Bran's reinforcements crash into the undead, wielding fire and dragon glass. The living manage to escape, but the walkers stand victorious. The war has begun. As the survivors reach the wall, a great storm rolls in. The walkers march forward, Mance raider held before them. The Night King steps forth, driving an ice dagger into Mance's chest. His dying scream shatters the wall's ancient magic. The dead surge forward, but the watch is ready. Hidden traps of dragon glass impale the first waves. Wildfire explosions tear through the undead. Yet the enemy is endless, relentless. Amidst the chaos, the walkers sense something, the Horn of Winter, clutched in Sam's hands. The key to destroying the wall entirely. And they are coming for him.